So he had had his fill of this youngster and dragged him by the cuff of the neck down to the principal's office and said, either this child goes or I go. And of course, at that time, the child went. But Dad was never one to sit still. He continued his education. He got his master's from Michigan State and later his doctorate from U of M. From Elk Rapids, his first teaching job, they moved to Traverse City, where he became a principal of an elementary school. And I believe in 1958, because I would have been 2 years old at the time, that's when we moved to Kingsley. Mayberry all over. I mean, it is just Kingsley. So that was where Dad had his first superintendentship. And he served as superintendent there from 1958 to 1964. I believe that they had actually started the search for his next move, what would be his next career move, prior to Johnny having passed away. Johnny died on January 23rd of 1964. And that summer was the summer we moved downstate to Addison, Michigan. It was a bigger school district. It had more challenges, and it was, at that time, without question, the family moves with Dad, who's the breadwinner, and it was like one of the most difficult transitions in my lifetime. Johnny having passed away was a pretty big hit. But even more difficult than that was this bond that I had formed with this kid by the name of Terry Raven. I don't know how this happens at 9 years old I mean, Terry and I were virtually inseparable. He was more my brother than Jody, you know, because he was my age. And but, you know, from 1964 until February 23rd of 1974, so that's only a 10-year period. Dad's impact on that town is still remarkable. The football stadium carries his name. There's a legacy there that was left. Really, we all had our own impact on that little town. But you know, I don't think it is unimaginable to me that any of us would have considered that to be home to go back to at all. It was remarkable in many respects, but not home. That, you know, when I was doing this ceiling work out at the cottage, you don't know what you don't know. The ceiling had to come down The stuff that was holding the ceiling up had to come down. The old insulation had to come down. And what it revealed was a nightmare for me in the way of how the place had been wired initially. And I was at a loss. I didn't know what to do. Kurt, Amanda's boyfriend, knew a guy who lived in Kingsley who was an electrician. And I needed this guy in the worst way. He had to show. So when I first connected with this guy, I didn't say anything about the job. I listed off 10 Kingsley names. I said, I can't believe how fortunate I am to be talking to a skilled tradesman from Kingsley, Michigan. And I told him stories for 5-10 minutes about my childhood there. And this guy showed. He showed and did all the wiring in 2 days over a Saturday and a Sunday. Saved my butt. Man, oh man, oh man. Kingsley, Michigan. Mayberry. That's what Michael calls it. My brother Michael calls it Mayberry.